Hey guys, in this video we're going to be painting this like the winter tree scene with the moon. Don't really have a name for it yet. Make sure you have your canvas out and ready. You need your paint out on your plate. We've got black, white, cobalt blue, chrome yellow, and fluorescent pink. Also have an assortment of brushes. Probably don't need the great big one, but I've got it here anyway. And then of course a jar or cup of sorts for your water and a paper towel for washing and drying brushes. All right, I'm gonna get started by just doing a Sharpie outline of basically everything on this canvas. It's gonna help the design show through when we paint and hopefully allow us to just paint right over everything. And you do need a black Sharpie. The other colors bleed. I've learned that the hard way. I think I used a red one. That was a nightmare. And just our snow line. I need to grab a smock real quick just to keep paint off me, at least try. I'll be right back. All right, we will start at the bottom and work our way upward. I'm just going to do white on the ground. Go ahead and use your bigger brush because it's just filling in the space here. And the big brush will have it done in about 1 minute or less. You don't have to be perfect with your line. We're actually going to run the white up higher. Hand free. Just a nice smooth, thin coat. You don't want any globs. Them smoothed out. While that is wet, we're gonna go ahead and put some highlights in. Well, not really highlights, just some pretty colors. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my pink, my medium-sized brush, and just where this little black line is, I'm just gonna brush in a little pink. Maybe over here on this big one as well. And then the other little swoops I'm gonna do with some yellow. Just a little bit of yellow. Nothing has to be perfect. Just get a little color on there. And then across the top as well. And now, back with my big brush, I'm gonna start working on the sky. It's a nice, clean, dry brush. I'm gonna get me a little yellow. And I'm going to go about this high with my yellow, roughly. I'm not gonna do a straight line or anything, just kind of a hilly shape. Get that all filled in. Canvas keeps rocking on my easel, driving me nuts. Then I'll just take a little bit of white, kind of soften that a smidge so it's not quite so bright. I'm gonna go upward, just some white across the top, the edge, get that edge softened. Clean out my brush. Get a nice clean white. So that, sorry, So I've got a nice soft transition. And you can just work down. So it's bright and then slowly gets lighter. Now with my dirty brush, some of the blue. I'm gonna just get this blue in there nice and bright, slightly into the white and down into the yellow a little bit. Try to get a little bit of a green. More blue. And I'm gonna get this blue kind of a curve. Doesn't have to be exact to this. I just want a nice curvy bit there. And I'm still gonna try to work this in and get a little bit more green in there. Maybe a little more yellow on my brush. Right in here. Get a little green. So I clean my brush. More yellow. Just try to get this nice and just kind of in the middle, up. About like that. I'll clean my brush again. A lot of brush cleaning. If we don't clean in between, we get really muddy colors. This helps us control our color. So I'm just gonna try to soften this little spot here, and then take a little bit of white. So about like that. Then up here we're going to do black. We are going to lose our moon shape. Hopefully we'll be able to see enough at the bottom to where we can continue it and still get that nice crescent. So just some black. So don't worry about getting this line to blend just yet. We're gonna have to add some white on top so that we can kind of dab in the blue so it looks a little softer and like a little bit like there's clouds in the sky. So right now it looks kind of ridiculous. I realize that. So I'm gonna blow it dry. Take some white, just kind of loosely brush it on this line. So it's just kind of every which way with your brush strokes. I'm gonna dry that. Clean brush. And some more of my blue. I'm just gonna wipe it on in there. Same idea, just right over top, every which way with the brush. Make sure you get all that white covered. You can overlap on to the black some, it's okay. The white wasn't completely dry. Then I'm going to bring a little bit more down into the other blue area. That's gonna need another coat to help get that covered nice. I'm gonna blow dry. A little more blue right on top. Then up here, I'm just gonna take black on my dirty brush. Trying to help soften that edge just a little. You don't want a smooth edge. You want it kind of mottled. I'm gonna blow this dry so I can work on the moon. So I'm gonna take a nice skinny brush. It's not my skinniest brush, but I'm hoping it'll be good enough. A little white. And let's see. I'll shoot for right about here. I'm gonna do the outside edge. I've got like one little weird hair. Find a different brush. I'm gonna try one of these square ones. Use it on its edge. This shape is very, very challenging because the slightest imperfection makes it look really wonky. So just do your best. Get that crescent shape filled in. Mine is a little wonky. And while that's still wet, I'm just gonna take a tiny dab of blue on my dirty brush and just kind of put a little bit of a shadow on the inside. A little bit more blue. I'm gonna try to smooth out this shape a little with a little bit more white. I think that's pretty okay. It is not perfect, but we get the gist. Next, we're going to put in some trees. And we're gonna do that using black. So medium-sized brush. I'm gonna put where they go on there. So you get the right, like the idea of where their placement is and kind of how big they need to be. And I just start at the top, start at the stick, I guess, and flick outward. So I go to the side, slowly start changing my angle, going straight up and down towards the middle, and then on the sides, the angle changes to the opposite. And I use the side of this brush so I get a skinnier stroke. And I'm just gonna go all the way down. are fairly thin trees. You don't want to get too bushy. So stay rather narrow for quite a ways. Now I can start kind of plumping it up a little. And I'm gonna go about to here. I still want the trunk visible. And I'll just fill that right in. I might want a smaller brush for this part. So I got one. I'm gonna do my other big one. So I can kind of adjust the edges later. I'm just gonna get the majority of them in there. Then I can start fluffing him out. But right now I got him really skinny. He doesn't need to be that skinny. So I'll start making him wider. Can't really tell if I've gone crooked or not. I stand at the side, it's hard to tell. I'm just gonna make sure I've got all the black covering the background color kind of within. You don't want chunks of speckles or pieces of your canvas sparkling through. We will be layering different colors on top, but get the majority filled in. Maybe make the bottom a little bit wider. And I'm going to switch to my small square brush to do the smaller trees, because they're kind of back in the distance. They're real small. I'll do this one first. Same idea, just a smaller brush. Oh, I forgot this one's stem. Well, trunk. So I've got a little baby's trunk. I'll do this one over here. Easel canvas keeps moving around. It's driving me crazy. And the little trunk. And lastly, this guy here, he's gonna be real narrow. And we've got our trees in. We'll let that dry a moment. Meanwhile, I'm gonna add in some shadows kind of in the snow and do these lines in the background. So I have these Sharpie lines, kind of these little hills. Get that marker covered. Awkward. Then on the ends here and there on my tree, I'm gonna go in and just put some nice little spirals. So maybe in here I can do a little spiral coming out of him. Just some cute little flourishes. Make it a little whimsical. If you don't wish to do this to, make it look more realistic, just skip this step. I should maybe be using a thinner brush. I'm gonna switch to a small brush for those ones in the back because they need really itty bitty swirls. It's okay, it's dry. Just wherever. I'm gonna say we're good on that. I'm gonna add with my small square brush, I'm gonna make a little bit of a dark gray, a little white and black together. And I'm gonna just brush, maybe darker. I'm just gonna take some black. Just get some more shadows in. Really dark up under here. Just wherever. Just a few little shadows. You can always take a little white, soften them up. I'm gonna blow dry my trees just to make sure they're all the way dry before I start layering on the snow. Okay. I'm gonna use my small square brush and I'm gonna use it on its edge so I can get a more narrow. Oh, look at the little spot on my on my towel. It looks like a butterfly. Sorry, distracted easily. So I'm gonna use my small square brush, get that cleaned out, and I'm just gonna start with some white. And I'm gonna go in and just put the same kind of lines on the tree as we did when we were painting it black, but less full. Like, you're gonna want a lot of spaces in between. So this is just gonna kind of define out some texture, needles, what have you. I don't know why this is so rattly. It's not usually that bad. I need to tighten it up a little or something. Maybe. Let me make sure you're still in view. Yep. Ooh, too much paint on my brush. Some itty bitty ones back here. Okay, now we're gonna start adding some pretty colors. Let's do some purple. I'm gonna keep the white on my brush. So pink, a little blue, some nice purpley color. So there was a little bit of white on my brush, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more white. This will just help it stand out on top of the black. And I'm gonna come in and put some nice purple ones in. Oh my goodness, please stop rattling. I'll do that one purple, and how about this one back here? We'll do a little purple on that one, just a smidge. And then the rest, let's do a different color. Let's do a little bit of blue. This isn't a very strong color, so just wipe it off. I'm gonna take a nice bit of blue. Add a little bit of white. Again, just to help it stand out on top of the black. And same thing, just gonna add a little bit of blue to these. pretty big one. And go back in with a little bit of white, just for a fresh little pop. Same thing, just put in a, oh, my brush is already clean. Clean brush. There we go. And just put some nice bright white ones in. All right, let's see. What else does this need? I feel like it needs to be a little glowy. I'm gonna try this. Don't do it until I say go, because I don't know how it's gonna look. I don't wanna have you ruin your painting. I'm gonna just take a little bit of pink and white. I still want it pretty bright. Sorry, I might not be in view. A little pink and white. I'm just gonna kind of put like a little bit like of an aura around the edge a little on some of these. Just a few little flicks from the side of my brush. Yeah, I like this, so go ahead. Feel free. Maybe some over here. They kind of look like they're glowing. Just a little bit on some edges. Maybe a little up in here. I'll brighten this up a little too. I'm just gonna step back and give it a look. Maybe a little bit more over here. Step back again. Yeah, that's cool. I think lastly I just want to get some stars in the sky. Kind of help that moon a little. I'm gonna clean out my small brush. And I'm gonna make a really dark gray. I'm gonna start by just putting like little gray circles in, kind of spirally. This is gonna help make it look like the stars are radiating light. I'm only gonna do that in the black though, because I don't want to do it on the blue, so it won't look right. Just a little bit. Then I'll just take a little white on my brush. A really small little brush, like a skinny round brush, would probably be best. I'm not gonna be able to get really small swirlies with this brush, but I'm just gonna go right on top of those and make little spirals. You can add a few more. You can do big ones. I'm getting pink all over the place. The gray probably wasn't necessary. I'm going to put a really bright spot of white in the middle of them. Just a little dab. I had to fix that little spot, and I got pink there. I'll go back and fix those. Then you could put just some teeny little dots throughout if you like. It's really hard to make teeny little dots. Especially with this big old brush. There, that looks pretty. I'm gonna fix my little boo-boo. I'm just gonna try to get a little teeny tiny bit of light blue because I got it on the moon. A little pink. And I got bright blue. Just a smidge. Ooh, white. And what else did I see? Oh, I had that spot on the black. There. I think I'm done. I think that's really pretty. Funky. I'm gonna sign my name. I got black on my brush. I'm just gonna use that right here in the shadow. And say finished. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope your panty turned out gorgeous. Yeah, thanks for watching, and perhaps I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.